Good morning. It is January 1st, 2022. We have made it to the new year. Woohoo! I am at the school. As I told you, there was going to be one day during Christmas break where I came in and just cleaned my classroom from top to bottom, and this is it. So, let's go. Oh my gosh, guys, this room right now, I can't even. Seriously, you could tell I was sick because I never would have let it get this bad. Never. There's a lot of work to do in here. Okay, so my first strategy that I need to employ whenever it's like this is I need to get the mess into a centralized area. So there are places in my room that I feel like are not a mess so that I'm not so overwhelmed. So first things first, I'm just going to move my configuration of tables around to set up areas where I can put all of the junk so that I can sort through it. So that's step number one. Alright, so it's looking a little bit better, and I have at least one area that's kind of cleaned off. I moved the books over there. I'm actually going to take some shelves that I have behind me here, and I'm going to put them in my reading corner and organize my student notebooks and those books on that shelf. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the other things that are on the shelves. See, I've just sort of, I meant to use these as like teacher shelving, but it's just kind of ended up being this catch-all for random items. So I'm thinking that I can move the black shelves. Maybe I'll keep these white ones back here on the floor. I don't know. Because I can't really put them on the countertop where they're more easily accessible. I'm just thinking maybe books that I might use over here at my teacher corner. Like this is where I meet with students. I might just put them down there, and that way I can grab them really easily. So if I leave the white shelving and I move the black shelving for the books and the student notebooks, that might work pretty well. That's what I'm thinking right now. So let's see if I can get that done. Okay, now I just have to get this down so that I can move that over there. It didn't really go like I planned. That thing is heavier than I thought, or that I remembered, but you know, it's down now. So we have made some real progress here. Let's show you what I have done. Hold on, I gotta move some stuff. Notice that I have all of this space that I can now clean up. I have this table. That is coffee that's going in the teacher's lounge. Still have to deal with these over here, but that's okay. Just like, and I have all of this space that I can now clean. I have a few things in the sink, not too bad though, and I did clear off this area in my desk area, which I kind of use after school. And I've got the books over here, and I have the shelves over here now. So I think I'm going to stop, and I'm going to take down the Christmas decorations, put them in that box, because that was a lot of work. And as you can see, I have a lot more to go through now in the middle tables, but one step at a time. That's why I came in on Saturday instead of waiting till the teacher work day on Monday. So my next self-care project is to declutter my pantry, and I'm doing this right now because I really don't have a lot in my pantry, but it's gotten to be kind of a disaster. Let me show you what it presently looks like. This is basically the product of stuffing. We have no rhyme or reason. I tried to establish a place to organize things down here, but as you can see, everything is just a mess. And these are my spices, which so I'm just gonna take everything out tonight, and that will get the ball rolling. And then hopefully once everything is out and I can clean this space, then that will give me the motivation that I need to start creating a system and making organization for myself that will work a lot better than what I presently have. So that's all that I'm going to do for this evening. There's actually more pantry items that are in a cabinet for easy access, and I'm going to look at those on another day after I get started with what I'm already doing. I think once I clean out my space and I kind of look and see what I have, then I can start making a plan, and I can look at the things in that cabinet and decide what is going to stay there and what's going to be moved after that happens. So this was just to get me motivated, because if you've been procrastinating on something, sometimes taking the first step is the best thing. So what I need to do now is my evening routine before school. So I'm going to plan out my meals for tomorrow. I'm going to just spend a few minutes doing that. I'm not even going to make anything. I'm just going to plan so that I know what's up. Then I'm going to pick out my outfit and take a bath, read for a few minutes, and go to sleep. So I will check back in with you tomorrow. Hello. Today is Wednesday, January the 5th, 2022, and I am back in school. It is our second day with students. This morning, I'm not going to lie, it was a really hard day for me to get out of bed, but now that I'm here and I'm busy and I'm engaged with the kids, I'm good. It wasn't that I didn't want to come, it was just that I was honestly tired today. I think coming back early, getting up early 2 days in a row after not being disciplined about going to bed over break, it finally hit me today. So today I am finally feeling like I'm really getting organized in my classroom. So I'm going to take you on a quick little classroom tour to show you my perfectly imperfect classroom. I do not have a Pinterest classroom, guys. I'm just showing you what I've done to get ready for the new semester, and kind of like how I have my room set up. And it's a work in progress, so no judgment. I'm not like perfect organized lady, but I do find that a major thing about self-care is having my environment livable for me. So whatever your standard is that you feel comfortable working in, that you feel like when you walk in, that you can function in the space, that's what you need to do to take care of you. Because if your environment is cluttered and crowded and
chaos, you just really can't do your job and be the best teacher that you can be. So come on in and let me show you around. All right, so I have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science, just to give you background. My desks are like this. My tables, science tables are like this just right now because it's the new semester, and I like to start them off facing the front so that when I'm giving directions and we're doing community building and there's a lot of like direct instruction, they're all facing the correct way, and that's one less thing that I have to worry about. But these will later become table groupings. As you know, when you break your tables up and you make them into groups, then you have to teach your traffic pattern and all of that. So this just eliminates some of that, eliminates some of the roaming because there's not as much room for them to roam in the classroom. It's harder for them to walk back and forth between the tables than it is for them to just stay put where they're at. So it kind of eliminates the extra traffic around the room until I get it the way that I want it. All right, so I'll show you the progress. I have this cleaned off, and I actually totally wiped this down earlier today, which I'm very proud of. I still need to deal with some things that are over here in the corner. This is my first teaching area. This is where I have students sit to work with me individually. If I need to, I can even have up to 4 kids at once over here if I move some of the stuff right here. But this is kind of like my little catch-all table right now. This is like a work area that I have. My refrigerator's here. These are my personal teaching things, which I decided to put up on an extra table that I had, and I have some things stored down there in cubbies. And then I have a storage over here too, and that's the students' cell phone area. It's nice that I have all of these cabinets around the room, but I'm not going to open any of them right now because that's a project for like another week. Over here is my new thing that I did to decorate for the new year. I did this with my minions at the beginning of the school year, and this saying is from my Africa trip, from my training. One of the books that we read, it had the saying of Ubuntu, which is a community saying, which means that we rise together, or we lift each other as we rise. So I thought that would be a great thing for the beginning of the year, and I've had it up since then. And I just keep changing the things around my minions for the different seasons. But I did put these pom-poms up around my board because when they changed my interactive board and I got the new one, they put it up here and there was all this like weird space around it. So I just wanted to fill that so it didn't look awkward. And then I put my students' binoculars up here with their goals so they can see those. And we've been working on some class resolutions or goals for the new year. So each grade level came up with some that we wrote up here. And I have one class yet that I'm going to meet with tomorrow. So there'll be another poster up here for that second 8th grade class. I actually have 2 6th grade classes, but each of them came up with 2, so we fit it on one. And then over here I have a prep table, which is different things at different times. I have an extra paper bin that I can go through if I need to pull something for a student. Right beside it I have a place where I can put absent work. I'll put folders in there for kids that need to do things. And this is my little area where I sit when I am changing things on the board and I don't want to stand. I'll just sit over here and I can kind of like talk to the students from here pretty easily and still monitor what's going on the board. But sometimes I will teach up at the board. It just depends on what we're doing. Over here, I have my little not perfectly clean reading area, but I moved my shelves over here and I now have them organized. So I found these on Amazon and I'll link them below. They work pretty well for these shelves. These are just Family Dollar shelves. So they would work better on a shelf that's just a little bit thicker, but they work pretty well. And I have my different classes separated with these, so that way they're not going to be falling off of the shelves this year as easily. And then I have science, novels, and some random extra books. And down here I have clipboards because students that are sitting in the reading corner doing work, they might need a clipboard. I have my rolling cart with supplies right here. And then right now, this is an experiment left over from before Christmas that I need to handle that I haven't had a chance to. I have some coloring things out that we were working on today. And this is also like an experiment prep table. So I have a couple of places. This is more like lesson prep, and this is like experiment prep over here, but sometimes I might need to do experiment prep in both places. Then I've got my teacher corner, which is not great right now, but it's better than it was. I showed it to you in the previous segment of this video, and so you can see it looks a whole lot better than it did. I have some things that I've gone through and condensed, but I still need to figure out where I'm putting all of this stuff. But I have just books that I use when I'm planning, things like that back here. I sit at this area basically when the kids are not in the room, and I sit over there or over here when kids are in the room, when I'm sitting, when I'm not wandering. Then I have my science supply. These are small supplies in each of these drawers. This was left for me by the previous teacher. It's been in here for years. And then some personal things over here. And then this looks a whole lot better than it did. It's not perfect. I need to do dishes. I need to scrub this counter down still, but you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's my classroom at the moment. I'm feeling much better. Not perfect, but I'm able to function in this environment now. So every little bit that I do to declutter and reorganize things and clean things, it just gives me a little bit more breathing room. Makes me feel more comfortable with everything that's going on in my classroom, and like I have control of what's going on. So I'm definitely feeling better. I'm starting to feel the snowball effect where I don't feel so overwhelmed anymore. These little piles that I have in the corners now, they're out of the way. I feel like I can tackle them one at a time. And I'm just putting different things on my power list for each day and then trying to do one thing a day. So my home situation, my pantry, I pulled things out and I haven't done anything else yet. Last night, after the first day of having students, I was so tired and I just didn't have it in me to go home and do anything. But I've decided that I actually want to clean the pantry and do touch-up paint in there. And then I want to like wrap my shelf organizers. I just have some cardboard shelving that's going to go over the wire shelves so that I have more of a stable surface for placing things in there. I want to wrap that with like contact paper before I start putting anything back in and reorganizing what I already have. I know that I'm going to be purchasing some things in probably February after we get our next paycheck, because our district our state, they pay us early before Christmas, and then they don't pay us again for like 6 weeks. So it's a long time to go over the holidays. And, you know, I paid all my big bills and everything, but I'm kind of like just living until the end of January right now. So I'm not buying anything. I'm trying to be very frugal until we get paid again. But we are supposed to be getting some extra because of a raise that we received and maybe some back pay, although I'm not counting on that right away because I don't know exactly when that's going to hit. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to go out and buy some organizers. Not a lot, but just a few things that I have in mind that I know that I'm going to need for my cans, and a couple of Lazy Susans that I can better organize my fridge and my pantry. So I will share that with you once that happens. But everything that I do to organize my home space and my workspace where I spend most of my time, it makes me so much more like at peace with my life. And so it truly is a form of self-care. Even though I came in and I worked a day over the holiday, it didn't feel like, I mean, yes, it was hard to get in here and do work when it was a break, but I knew that it was actually making my life better when I came back and making me have less stress. So it was totally worth it. And sometimes that's just what you need to do. Sometimes taking care of you is doing nothing. And sometimes taking care of you is very active and like intentional, strategically doing certain chores that you need to do so that you can feel at peace. So I just want to encourage you that like whatever you feel like you need to do, you know, don't let someone else impose their idea of self-care on you. It's not all like, you know, bubble baths and pedicures. Like sometimes you need to get in and dig in and do the hard, dirty work, and then it's going to pay off in lots of peace later on in your life. So that's what I wanted to say to you in today's video. That's it. I was just sharing with you the different projects that I did around my house, and I just wanted to encourage you with this word today that self-care is whatever you make it, and you definitely need to listen to yourself and what you need at the moment to feel happy and at peace with your current life. So I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you're having a wonderful time coming back to be with your students. I know I'm so happy to be with my kids again. It was a nice long break this time, and I really enjoyed my time away, but I'm happy to be back with students. So everybody, don't forget to work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. Bye.